press conference. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That's Gilbert Manzano. Gilbert, obviously, we about 2 hours ago, the press conference ended for Jim Harbaugh. What are some of your takeaways from the press conference and just very interesting at the YouTube theater, different atmosphere, just overall first initial thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm still here at SoFi Stadium or YouTube Theater to be exact. After getting to know Jim Harbaugh for about an hour, and he had a bunch of stories to say the least, and he had a bunch of, the one-liners. I think the one that what's today? What does he say about let's make today a great day? Like have a good,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
have a
yeah,
good day. Let's make it today a good
yeah.
day. Like he's all about actions, and he wants to make sure things are done properly. And he had a bunch of stories about having his RV camper set up next to Costa Mesa to live next to the facility. He even dropped the "Who's got it better than us? Nobody." So things like that. He had a pretty nice show for 60 minutes, but that fiery side, that intense side, that brings the best out of people. Sometimes like, he'll put you in a place where like you're uncomfortable, but it makes you a better person at the end of the day. You kind of saw some of that too as well. But for today, it's all about the show and having a good time, right?
Exactly, exactly. So, I'm in Costa Mesa. I was able to make it drive down before all the traffic hit before I go back down to San Diego. So, I try to make it quickly. Kay, how are you doing?
How's it
Thank you
going,
for
Kay?
jumping on. Thank you to everybody who's jumping on. If you guys have any questions, you guys have anything to say, make sure you guys throw it in the chat. We're very interactive with you guys, so we'll quickly see all those. But mine was exactly what the point is of why did you come back? And he said, I want to be known as a world champion. I want to win a Super Bowl. And you could tell, and that's the thing, Gilbert, is we've always heard that it has to align between all three. It has to align from ownership to the coaches to the players. All we already know that Dean Spanos, like Jim said, he's starving for a championship. Then on the other side, we all know that guys like Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, those guys, and Derwin James are they're all starving for a championship. And then obviously we know Jim Harbaugh had his opportunity a couple of years ago with the 49ers. It didn't go through. Now he has an opportunity again. I thought that was my biggest takeaway is that he said he wants to win multiple championships. And really, Gilbert, I think that's very important for an organization that has been through a lot of on the wrong side of history, I guess, is unfortunate. I mean, we all know that they had in the past the Freezer Bowl where they had played Miami in that humid bowl and they go to Cincinnati. It's very cold. They don't make it to the Super Bowl. They lose the Super Bowl to the 49ers. Then you go over and you end up and then you have the Marlon McCree fumble. You have Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers, LT hurt against the Patriots. 27-0 last year against the Jaguars. A lot of different things that just came together that just this franchise has been unlucky with. And now you have a coach that possibly he's looked at as like a messiah, I guess, in a sense. Like people really are hoping that he's the one that can take these guys over the hump.
Yeah, no, I'm with you when you talk about that quote where he said he wants another shot. He wants one more opportunity to become a world champion. And obviously, he did it in the college game. Now he wants to do it in the pro game, where very few coaches have done it. Was it like Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, or something like that? Hopefully,
Those are the only three.
I got it right. Okay, cool. And he
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
become the fourth one. And Fernando, I'll give you one more, kind of maybe under the radar reasoning for why he returned. Like, we all know about the bad breakup with the 49ers that like, oh, he had a toxic locker room. People got tired of his ways. It became
Don't
stale
believe
for four
everything you
years.
read.
And that's when you said that, Fernando, like, don't believe everything you read. I'm like, he wants to change the narrative that people say that his style doesn't work in the NFL game, in the pro game. And he still calls it kind of the pro ranks because he's from the college days or
Yeah,
college
yeah,
coaching.
yeah,
So he
yeah.
kind of calls it, yeah, in the pro style, the pro game. Well, it's the NFL, Jim, as you know. But I think he wants to change that. Like, hey, you know what? Go talk to an Alex Smith. Go talk to people who I coach with the 49ers that, yeah, I might get under your skin. I might kind of push the best out of you. I might get a little, I might be stern and serious and straight to the point. But at the end of the day, you're going to get better. You're going to improve. So, I know at Michigan, it's the program changes every single year with new players. So they don't have to deal with Jim Harbaugh for 3, 4 years like the 49ers did. But everywhere that guy goes, they love him. And for some reason, that 2014 season in San Francisco, they kept saying negative things about it. I don't know. It's all about sources, right? Who's saying what, who's talking to who. And you could tell that Jim Harbaugh did not like that. And I think it's part of being, when he wants to be a world champion, he was waiting for the right opportunity to come back to California and coach a good quarterback on Justin Herbert. And I think maybe 3 or 4, whatever you want to do in the pecking order, is changing that narrative that people don't like to play under him.
Gilbert, I don't know if you saw real quick. I just want to get to some of the comments. Here goes a Thier, 14-3 first year, calling my shot.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay, slow it down.
Nancy, hello. How are you?
Hello, Nancy.
Gilbert, I do believe this. I think there is going to be a big roster turnover in 2024. Gilbert, it all started with what he said. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Derwin James, Rashawn Slater. Those are the 4 players he mentioned.
I was listening for names too. I was listening to the list.
He mentioned Trey Pipkins, that he saw him at the airport and he was with his family and everything. But I'm interested to see, because those are the big 4 in my opinion. Those are the big 4. Everybody else is kind of like a wait and see what happens. But I don't know. I was pretty interested that he named those 4 guys. I don't know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to leave off a Joey Bosa and a Khalil Mack, right? Like you would think those are some of the first things you say. And I guess with the Chargers, there's so many names to list, and it kind of gets hard after a while. But I think there's some
I know what it was.
To it.
I know what it was. He didn't want to start naming names, and he go, "What? What?
Keep it going.
What? Exactly."
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess when you do talk about the Chargers and you don't want to waste people's time, what do you think of the names first? You think Justin Herbert, Derwin James, and Keenan Allen, and then you call it a day, right? But he kept going and he went with Rashawn Slater. But for now, to your point, that's why I think they brought in a Jim Harbaugh, because you got to shake things up. You got to change things, and maybe, like I mentioned, people don't like his style. But, that's the thing he has to figure out. Okay, are you meant to be one of my players? Are you going to be a guy who's able to take in the discipline? Are you going to be able to kind of, work off of this coaching method, these different styles? Like, hey, it's not the Brandon Staley era. It's not the Anthony Lynn era. So I think year one is going to be about weeding people out. It's kind of like, I guess, in the military, right? You go to boot camp. Did you survive? Are you able to make it? Cool. You might hate me in April, May, June, July, August. Come September, you're going to love me. We're going to be best friends. We're going to say who's got it better than us? Nobody. So I think those early stages are going to be kind of rocky and tough for players, but it's tough. Those guys need it. Like Derwin James, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, they might even welcome it for now, because they rarely go to the playoffs. They've been around for a long time. They're excellent players. Now try something new with a guy who's won in different kind of type of programs, from San Diego, Stanford, 49ers, Michigan. Hey, if you're tough enough to kind of go through the Jim Harbaugh boot camp, and that's what I was waiting for today, Fernando, kind of some of that tough love, tendencies or mannerisms to come out. He wasn't going to do it in an intro press conference, but you better bet come when the doors close, maybe even training camp, it's going to get tough, but it's things that this franchise definitely needs in the long run.
Young West says, "This is the happiest I've ever been with this franchise, man. Harbaugh's genuine, and it makes me want to put my head through a wall." Well, don't, but Robert says, "What's up?" Dennis, I thought so too. You could definitely tell that he was talking about the offensive line, and he said it multiple times, and that's what I tweeted out. He talked about the offensive line. He said they want to run the football a lot more. They want to beef up the running back group. They want to protecting the quarterback was his number one. So that right off the bat, that he's already saying the right stuff with that. And so, yeah, Nancy, it was a hell of an introduction from Jim. I mean, it was interesting to see what he had to say. I do think that Herbert's numbers may go down a bit, but that's just because obviously, like you're saying, it's because they want to run the football. That's exactly what I believe is going to end up happening. I definitely think that he wants a 1,000-yard runner. He wants the offensive line protecting. It's just going to be it's definitely going to be interesting to see kind of what dynamic he decides to bring. The other interesting part, Gilbert, he only said Ben Herbert's on his way. He didn't really mention anything else, which Ben Herbert is a hell of a signing for them, because he's going to bring a different mentality to this team, and it's something that it seems like Jim wants. But obviously, Ryan Ficken hasn't moved anywhere. It's going to be interesting when it comes to him. Harbaugh's son, is he going to come with him to coach the secondaries, or is he going to be special teams? Interesting. He didn't mention either Jesse Minter either. So that there's a lot of interesting things going on. But I'm sure right now Baltimore and John Harbaugh are hanging on for dear life, trying to stop Seattle and the Chargers from getting all their guys. But definitely interesting to see what the dynamic is. I mean, you made it in a huge. It's completely different from last time, Gilbert. Last time you had a very thick COVID mustache. We did an hour and a half with Brandon
Yeah, I
Staley,
forgot
and
about
here it
that.
was, yeah. And but here it's like you see the aura. His kids walk in. Everybody's looking at his kids walk in. The general manager
Yeah.
Ben or
Joe.
shoot Joe Ortiz. I don't know why I'm like blanking on his name. Joe Ortiz comes in, and then everybody's looking at him. Then he walks in, and you're like, "Oh wow, okay, here we go." Like this is. It was definitely interesting to see the whole dynamic of how that press conference happened. But they are the organization's very excited, and you heard Dean After say like we're very excited about Jim joining us, and they really are. They really are kind of turning a page in the history of what for the future of what this team could look like this season.
Yeah, and going off of what you mentioned in the Spanos family, one thing that I remember was I think Dean went up there and said, "Hey, sorry Jim for bringing in the rain. We didn't think it's gonna rain on Thursday, and but you brought the storm." And he's like, "Dean, we are the storm." So I thought that was pretty
Oh yeah,
cool. So things like that, like he wants to just talk in definitives and actions about change, things like that. And going back to what you said earlier about the play style for Justin Herbert, it's going to be kind of a less is more kind of approach, right? Like we see Patrick Mahomes, we know he has a bunch of talent and skill set, but what does he do in the playoffs, like with the Ravens? Kind of little like small things, right? Kind of a game manager. It's like sometimes it's okay to not be the superhero. I know what did Jim Harbaugh say? He wants to be the Cape Crusader during the season. He wants to be Batman during the season, but I think for Justin Herbert, it's like, okay, it's good to be Batman when we really, really need you. When things are kind of crappy, you got to bail us out, and we know you could do it. But we've seen Herbert try to be a hero for an entire year. It just doesn't work out. It's a lot. He could do it. He has a skill set. He's elite talent as a quarterback, but less is more. It's better to have a running game, beef up the offensive line. You know, when you're money downs, make sure you're in third and short situations. When you want to go for a fourth down, maybe it's an easy one. You're 4th and 1, and they got to figure out the weapons. Who's going to come back? Mike Williams. Does he like Quentin Johnson? Now I know some people try asking about, hey, what are you going to do with the roster and the salary cap? And he's like, well, Joe Ortiz just came off the plane. Can you kind of chill out? But at least we know that in terms of philosophy and play style, it's going to be being disciplined, aggressive, and obviously running the football pretty heavily.
yeah, no, and that's going to be the thing is what turnovers they're going to be from the team. I mean, there's several players that I don't expect to be back. If I'm kind of going off of what he talked about and what he said, so that's going to be the interesting part. And then obviously the coaching staff. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator? Who's going to what role is each guy going to have? So these next few weeks are going to be very interesting to see what what this team is really going to look like, and you could tell he was excited about the new challenge. I mean, it's something new. He for years he's been in college football. I mean, since 2014 to now, he's been in or 2015 to now, he's been in college football, and now he's coming over and he's going back into the league. And like he said, he has unfinished business. Raiders are expected to hire Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator,
Really?
according to Adam Schefter.
I don't know if I like that move for them, but whatever.
That's interesting. What he kind of he's kind of like a politician up there, kind of in a sense. When you listen to Jim kind of speak, I don't know what you thought. He
Yeah,
very well spoken.
I
He knew exactly what way to steer everything.
I really thought that at the end of the presser when he came up to shake people's hands and say hello, and it's like a whole circle in the gathering to get to know the new coach. So that kind of felt a little like a political kind of way. But to be honest, man, like I thought he was just being himself. Like, when I saw
Yeah,
the little fiery side, that's who he truly is. But for the most part, he's very enthusiastic. I can't say the word enthusiastic, whatever. I messed it up. But he has a bunch of stories. He knows how to bring the energy. He knows how to make people run through a wall. I don't think he's asking people to do that. But, he just has a way of balancing. Like sometimes it can be kind of annoying. Like I'm a person who like sometimes I kind of drift away and I zone out when I hear people going off on tangents and long stories. But some of his stories, man, when he talks about like he really went from saying, "Oh, look at Justin Herbert, that guy is massive," to I went to Home Depot and I wanted to get ready at the gym and revamp the gym at work. I'm like, he is all over the place, but I'm like, hey, I
Yeah.
like the energy, man. I like the stories. You're very entertaining. He's somebody who'll probably, shake your hand, look you in the eye, and he'll try to size you up sometimes. It's like sometimes it's a game within a game, but it's just who he is. And I think everything came out pretty genuine to me. And obviously, he has to kind of kiss babies and take pictures for the first day introduction. But we all know why he signed up for Jim Harbaugh. He's going to be fiery, disciplined, learn how to motivate players the right way, and then we'll see if the rest takes care of itself. But they swung big and they did not miss, like I keep telling you, Fernando.
Yeah, no, and that was the important part. They couldn't miss with this, and I know that they said that Vrabel was their second choice, but
Kind of a similar
there's a
kind of
reason
style
why.
too, right? Like they were going for some kind of a type of coach who was very, very disciplined, right?
Yeah. Athir Dago is at practice right now, so he won't. Unfortunately, he won't be here right now. But Gilbert, I don't know if you saw that story that Mark Schlereth said that Ben Johnson, the only job that he really wanted was the Chargers one, and that there
Really?
wasn't really another job. Yeah, that I guess he went
I
on
didn't
a
see it.
radio show and he said that that was the one job that he wanted. Vrabel, I've seen multiple things about him, and then obviously Jim Harbaugh. Everybody was attracted to one thing, and it was the quarterback. And that's the thing when you have a quarterback like this guy. I mean, I guess the sky's the limit in a sense. So you could tell he's very excited, and you saw it on the CBS thing where he spoke about Justin, and you could tell he's just so excited about the opportunity to coach that guy. I'm sure those two have already met in person. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already gone out to dinner together because he just he's something else. Like, and obviously Justin likes to talk ball. That's all he really like. That's what he likes to talk about and everything. But I'm really interested to see what Ian Rappaport, big hire for Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. Um, but uh, but I'm interested to see when Herbert and Harbaugh are in the same room together and we get to see it. I'm interested to see what the whole dynamic is going to be when it comes to that. But you know what? Real quick, lucky for 858, lucky you for 858. You're right about this. That happened multiple times. Excuse me, this year, where at the end of games, teams were just blitzing, and they had a free shot at Herbert, and then that's what was going on at the end of those games. But that's why Jim said the offensive line. And did you notice what he said? He's already seen a lot of film on Herbert. He said that he's like, I've already watched a
Yeah.
lot of his throws, and I wonder, like, Jim just strikes me as the kind of guy that's like watching it, and he might be watching it for the first time and getting excited, like if he's on the sideline. I don't know if you get that kind of same feeling.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up, Danny?
What's up, Danny? Like I told you, Fernando, before I got to the presser today, I don't really watch college football. So I wanted to relearn, I guess, Jim Harbaugh. So I watched a bunch of videos of his 49er days just to see like how he was and how he talked to the officials and what's up, Dylan? Obviously, he still has like that the pat down.
Can we get a flag?
Yeah,
Can we
good
get a
call.
flag, please? Can we get one?
He has that weird pat down he does with quarterbacks where he's like,
Oh yeah.
oh,
That's gonna
sorry.
be the
Did it
first
to
one with Herbert is
Kaepernick
gonna be
Smith, did
interesting.
it to JJ McCarthy, and then just to see Justin Herbert, he has to like get up this way, like, all right, are you ready, Justin Herbert? And I watched Alex Smith's reaction to the news of Harbaugh going to the Chargers, and he was like, yeah, the first day I met the guy, he was trying to size me up. He takes me to the back of the fields, and we're playing catch. And little by little, he's throwing fastballs after fastball, trying to test me, and I'm throwing fastballs back. Imagine doing that with Justin Herbert and his arm strength. Jim Harbaugh is a little older now, as that was 10 years ago, so I don't think he wants to play fast pitch with Justin Herbert. But that's what he does, man. Even though he knows Herbert has all the talent in the world, he's gonna find little things where he could be better at, and he's gonna push
Yeah.
that out of him. And I can't wait to see how it develops.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes would say, yeah, I have a lot of things I need to work on. I mean, there's guys that they say that, but Gilbert, it's like we said in the press conference, or like we said when we were there. Alex Smith could easily hate Jim Harbaugh if he really wanted to. Like Harbaugh benched him and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, we have a better opportunity with Colin Kaepernick. And he easily could have taken that and been like, oh, F this guy, like I hate this guy, whatever. No, he took it at, wow, they interviewed Chip Kelly twice for the OC job.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. But he could have hated him, and he's like, no, I owe my career. Remember, he was a free agent going into when Jim Harbaugh came in, and Jim said, I want this guy here, and they changed it around. I mean, they were 6-10. The Chargers were 5-12. So I mean, one game discrepancy there. 5-12. Yeah, 5-12. So
yeah, 17 games.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of dynamic Jim brings in here. But you could just tell he's really excited. And like you said, he's ready to change that narrative of him and whatever narrative people have out there. I mean, hopefully we can get a 49ers guy to jump on and maybe talk to us about what it was like to cover that era. But really, Gilbert, it's about changing the culture, changing that mentality that changing that mentality that we've seen, and bringing in a winner's mentality. I mean, Jim's done it. Jim's changed organizations before. If you can change an organization like this one and really take them to that next level, the Chargers are going to be in a great spot. And I mean, like I was telling our good friend Roger, is that if Jim can come in here and win these guys a championship, like he said, I mean, especially a franchise that has never won a Super Bowl before, and you can take them and you can win a Super Bowl with them, that puts you in a different category, because this franchise has never had one. They've gone through mishaps. And if a guy like Jim Harbaugh comes in here and changes life for them, there's going to be some discussions had. But first, obviously, they have to get the groundwork in. They have to get in the coaching staff. And no, Danny, that's what we're talking about right now, that Jim said that everything's still being decided. They're still going through stuff. And the only name that they gave us was Ben Herbert. Other than that, they didn't give us if anybody's staying, if anybody's going. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, this is something that I've noticed too, that Herbert gets a lot of balls about it. You know who had a problem like this, and I know people are going to hate that I use this name, but I remember Brock Osweiler used to have a lot of batted down passes, and he was tall as well. So I mean, I'm sure that's something that Jim's going to want to change, but that's going to be the thing, Gilbert. Jim's going to come in here and he's going to psychoanalyze everybody and say, okay, this is what we need to do. So it's going to be interesting to see what these next few weeks look like. But I'm sure. What's up, Charlie? I'm sure, like you said, like we've said, the players seem to be very excited about the atmosphere that he brings, and I'm sure they're ready for a new. I'm sure they're ready for a new era of Chargers football.
Yeah, and Fernando, going back to the point of Alex Smith, like, saying that he still loves the guy even though he got benched. Maybe it didn't work out fully with the 49ers, but he went on to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? And he still played well as a starter over there. So that's what he's an expert at. He knows how to bring out the best in you. And, we'll see what happens with the Chargers, and they're loaded. But, I just can't wait to see what he does. And, what did Athir have here if I see my name here?
I said, Gilbert, please don't lose your mind when Athir, chill. 7-0.
I would not lose my mind, but you know what? I would not be surprised, because when Harbaugh went to the 49ers, his first 3 years, they went to the playoffs. He quickly made them a postseason contender, went to the Super Bowl in year 2. So that first year, he did it with kind of, who was it before, Fernando? Can't win with him, can't play with them.
Oh, Mike Singletary.
Yeah, so he turned that roster around and quickly made them a playoff team. So that tells you how quickly he works. So, hey, Athir, maybe it could happen. I don't know. We'll see. I'm waiting to see the draft and free agency. Hey, by year 2, going to the Super Bowl, that trajectory was pretty nice. I know with Michigan, it took him a little longer. It's a different beast, different game. Rules always change. But, hey, he got to the mountaintop. He did it. But we'll see what happens here. And let me know if it's a little too loud here, Fernando.
No, you're good. You know what was funny, Gilbert, is that I was watching that all-in thing of the Michigan one, and people were kind of pissed off that he took the players to Rome to go. He went to the Vatican, obviously, but some people weren't happy. that he went all the way over there to have guys practice and do all that. But whatever, that's not. He's off the cuff. He does things differently. I heard. What did he say? He said something. We're cock locked and ready to rock or something like that. Like I thought that was hilarious. I was like, this guy is something else. But I just really
I'm gonna go on a walk with you guys, Fernando, because I got to get my stuff. I think
yeah.
they might be kicking me out, but go ahead and keep chatting.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just it's interesting to see Herbert, a fantasy quarterback lock. Have you guys seen videos of Jim coaching? Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff, Danny, and I think he's definitely interesting. He Jim's different. I mean, he likes the anticipation. Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the way he coaches these guys. But here goes Philip. Easton Stick is taking us to the Super Bowl. This guy, we don't even know if Easton's going to be the backup quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see. In my opinion, a sign that would be a mistake. Yeah, Josue. I mean, we don't know. We're going to see what he decides to do. I think that I'd be interested. I don't want to say anything, but I'm just interested to see. I think Ryan Feiken's record speaks for itself, and I think he has a good chance of staying here. But exactly, locked, cocked, and ready to rock. That's exactly what he said. Even his kids started laughing when he said that one. So I was like, wow. But that's the thing, Gilbert. That's the aspect that everybody's wondering. What's this team gonna? Oh, look who it is. NFL Mike. NFL. I need a mashup. I need a NFL Mike and Dan and Dago TikTok. I think the world needs to see something like that. I think that would be interesting. Oh, look at that. He's special. I don't even. Yeah, I didn't have anything there. They didn't have my name on there anywhere, so I'm not special. But well, that the thing is, as Shada, the thing is that those kind of questions come later. I mean, he doesn't. He's right now. He's going to say, I don't have a staff." We try to ask him different questions, and he said, "I don't have a staff," so he can't really get into all that. But I'm pretty sure he. I'd be surprised if he doesn't use a fullback. That's kind of been the MO with him and his brother. So I'd be very surprised. GM, do you stay at 5? Honestly, if Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers is there, I think it'd be very hard. To be honest, I think it'd be very hard because Justin Herbert needs a tight end, but at the same time, passing up a receiver like Malik Neighbors might be too hard. So I think I would stay there to grab either one of those two guys. But if by some miracle both of them are gone, then you maybe do that. But I'm interested to see that. Yeah, this is another. Yeah, Josue, you're right. Ortiz's press conference will be more insightful. That'll be next Tuesday.
Tuesday,
So
yeah.
make sure you guys tune in to that. This is true. If you do play soft, Jim, you'll be gone. So that's the way Jim is. But yeah, Gilbert, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what these next few weeks look like. He's like, we need to figure out our staff. Then we go to the combine. Then we do this. Then obviously, Gilbert, literally in almost a month, free agency begins. Like that's how quickly all this stuff moves. So yeah, it's going to be these next few weeks are going to be very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, we're not even at the Super Bowl yet. What is it, Senior Bowl already? About to get to the Pro Bowl. So even though we still got to finish 2023 season, it moves very quickly, Fernando. But right, I got like maybe a few minutes. They're gonna kick me out here.
Yeah,
so any kind of final words? I'm ready to go.
Chip Kelly is a potential candidate for OC for the Commanders, is what Jeremy Fowler just tweeted out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, why is he in the name in the? I guess in the news right now. Why is he popular?
I don't know. They're believing that he might be gone. He might be out at UCLA. That's it. But like, you're already in February. Like, how are you? Yeah. Like, that's weird.
I guess it goes to the whole NIL thing. People don't like. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Boston College. That's the thing, that Boston College coach that just took the Packers DC job. Like, all that stuff is very interesting. But yeah, Gilbert, if you want to give your final thoughts, so you can head out, and then I'll give mine.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I thought it was a good press conference. I wanted to see how Jim Harbaugh is after 9 years away from the the pro game. And Fernando, I don't know if I told you this, but when I used to work at NFL.com at the old offices in Culver City for NFL Network, one of my jobs was to watch a lot of the coaches' press conferences and transcribe all the notable quotes, the quotes that would get headlines on the website. So I used to watch Jim Harbaugh's press conference pretty closely. So to see all the mannerisms, the one-liners return to the pro game, that was pretty cool. I thought for a minute we weren't going to get that, but again, going back to the main point, they didn't hire Jim Harbaugh for the stories and the laughs and shaking hands and kissing babies. They hired him to be the fiery competitive guy, the guy who will tell it like it is, the guy who has the poor poker face. Remember John Spano said that? Hey, I have the worst poker face, but you would like that. Whatever you see is what you get. And a lot of players won't like that. A lot of coaches won't like that. But after, like we said, after the first few months, he weeds them out. They leave. They come back. And or they don't come back. If they do, they're going to be better in the long run. So the thing with Jim Harbaugh, he knows how to turn programs into quickly, I wouldn't say instant winners, but on the right track very quickly. And then you see the progress very high. So everything I heard from that guy is still the same dude from the 49er days.
Yeah, no, I have the same takeaway, and it looks like I can already tell you right now, there was questions about if who's going to be here, who's not going to be here. There was questions about Derwin James. He mentioned Derwin James. He mentioned Keenan Allen. So I don't think those two guys are going anywhere.
I don't think so either.
Obviously, Rashawn Slater, Justin Herbert. He has his four pieces, and now it's obviously about moving forward. But it seems all positive right now. Obviously, it's going to take some time for him to do this. I know people are saying, how quickly can he turn this around? There's got to be a little bit of patience also, because he's coming back to the NFL after so many years of being in the college games. But I'm definitely, this is going to be an interesting next couple of few weeks with the combine, free agency, and then the draft and everything. And I mean, everybody's anticipating, is he going to trade up? Is he going to trade down? Is he going to stay put? What's he going to do? Like, it's going to be, I know there's a picture circulating right now, Gilbert, of Brock Bowers and Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. And I guess he recruited him heavily coming out of college, out of high school. So a lot of people are basically writing in pen that Brock Bowers may be the 5th overall pick, but obviously, I know exactly. So he can do a lot of different things, and I know people have thrown this out there that he's the best tight end that a lot of people have ever seen in college football. So why not give that to a guy like Justin Herbert, who obviously could probably do wonders? I mean, look at everybody that's left right now. George Kittle and Travis Kelce are the two guys left as far as tight ends. So, but my final thoughts are obviously patience, but it seems like Jim Harbaugh already has a good head on his shoulders. And like you mentioned, him and Joe Ortiz, it's going to be Batman and Robin trading off, knowing when is one or the others. But this is the Jim Harbaugh show. Let's not make any mistakes about it. This is the Jim Harbaugh show.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see moving forward, what this show is going to look like. But man, it was already a rock star kind of like entrance. Now let's see what's up with Pedro's excited. I wonder what class Pedro was in while he was watching the Jim Harbaugh press conference.
He's done at 4:30 from what I remember, so he's done.
Oh yeah, so he probably was done with class, but yeah, Gilbert, it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But man, I can tell. Yeah, this is 100% right. Justin did miss Hunter Henry, and you could tell. He said he was at lunch. But yeah, Justin missed Hunter Henry, and you could tell they had Jared Cook. By the way, there's been some stuff that Jared Cook has sent out there about the former regime, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And then obviously we have Gerald Everett, but we'll see what happens there. But Gilbert, obviously we were both there. Interesting press conference. Again, thank you guys so much for joining and jumping on this live. Next week, Gilbert and I will be at Radio Row. All four of us will be at Radio Row. We will be conducting our show from there. We'll be doing some lives. We have some great interviews lined up, so make sure you guys are all tuned in, and make sure you guys are ready to rock, because we have some great stuff coming your way next week. So make sure you guys are tuned in. Make sure you guys are ready, because we are definitely we appreciate that, Pedro. That means a lot. So
Thank you.
make sure you guys stay tuned.
So Jim Harbaugh saying, "You're a legend. Like, you're a legend. You're a legend. You're a legend."
Oh, that was another thing. That was hilarious. But I can tell they're kicking Gilbert out, and I don't want him to get the boot. But
they don't know that I'm
again,
a legend, but whatever.
But again, thank you guys so much for checking us out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button on YouTube so that you guys know when we drop a video. But again, thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend. See you guys next week from Las Vegas. Thank you guys so much.